Welcome to the LANCave, where we're living as nerds. I'm Patrick, joined by Owen.
It's time for the fall bangers.
It's happening. We've been waiting. We've been waiting so long, and we're ready to play some games. COVID. Everyone's tired of talking about COVID, but COVID had that lull in games in production. We all had to figure out what we're doing. We talk video games here in Nerd Stuff, and now we're starting to see these great games coming out. Man, it's a good time to be alive. It is a good time to be a gamer.
It is. I mean, I don't really have anything to play this week because I kind of paused on Hollow Knight. It's still there. I'm still enjoying it, but football came back, and obviously that required. Why am I so dark right now? Oh, I got curtains. That's why I'm so dark.
Okay.
And I was like, why is my face so dark? Light me up. So I paused some gaming to watch a lot of football this weekend, and then things started dropping. We started seeing Eastward got amazing reviews.
Yeah.
I was on the fence about it, but it's like a top-down pixel art game, so Zelda, like that old school Zelda look where it's looking down on that. It's supposed to be like got some adventure, got some Last of Us vibes where you're traveling with a little girl in a post-apocalyptic thing. So I went ahead and actually already ordered that because it had a slight pre-order discount on Switch.
Okay.
Deathloop's got banger reviews. I don't like roguelikes though, so it's one of those things where I'm gonna wait for it on discount. But I thought maybe it would tempt you if.
It is. So this was already on my list of like, this is probably going to be good. Now it's just a question of like, when am I going to play the game? And this game is coming out so close to Black Friday. I don't know if this is going to be discounted. Best Buy and others will do the, hey, buy, 2 for $3 kind of thing from Best Buy or whatever deals they're doing. This may not be on that list because it came out so soon, so I may have to buy it at full price. I heard nothing but good things about it. Yes, roguelike, but it wasn't frustrating. Like, because when you hear roguelike, people usually think about a lot of difficulty as well as replaying. I'm okay replaying sections as long as I'm not replaying it ad nauseum and frustratingly. Which, speaking of that, 12 Minutes, the story-based game on Xbox, it's on Game Pass. If you're a Game Pass subscriber, it's a story. It's a time loop kind of thing where you basically start the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm at the point now with the game. I even looked up like step by step because I got stuck. So I looked step by step, and I still can't figure out what I'm missing. So I'm just literally replaying the same thing over and over and over again. I spent like an hour and 10 minutes like doing this, like trying different things. Like I'm like, I didn't trigger something in dialogue, so now I can't do something. That was frustrating. I'm hoping this isn't as frustrating because I like 12 minutes, except for that. Like, I'm not getting any hints or anything. So I'm hoping this has a little bit more story and hints because 12 minutes is a very short game.
Yeah, I think I heard like somewhere between like 6 and 10 hours, depending on where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar to, we were talking about Myst the other week. Like, yeah, Myst is short if you know everything that you need to do, but this game you literally have to go, okay, I need to play it this way. Now I need to play this. You have to kind of like Groundhog Day, where it's like, I'm going to do this during this playthrough, and that's all I'm concentrating on. I'm going to do this on this playthrough, as opposed to like trying to solve everything the first in one go. But I've heard nothing but great things from everybody about this game, and it's a stellar studio. So if you like, they did Prey, right?
Yeah, this is Arcane. So they did Prey, Dishonored 1 and 2. They've been making some great games for a long time, and so obviously now Xbox owned, but this is a PlayStation timed exclusive. So there will be probably about a year until it's available on Game Pass. So if you got the Xbox and everything, and that's what you're banking on, you will get to play this eventually. And if you're on PlayStation, you can play it right now.
Yeah.
Which it's one of those games where I'm either going to wait for Game Pass or it's like a $20 join. It's the same thing with Returnal, where I know what I think of this genre to begin with. And so I don't want to spend more money than I know I'm going to get out of it, and I know I'm not going to get the full $60 out of this game. I really would like to like roguelikes, but it's one of those games. It's like it got some 10s. It got 10s from IGN, from GameSpot, from PC Gamer. Those, you can make a lot of meme jokes about IGN and everything, but it's not like they just go handing 10s out all the time. I think they gave Last of Us 2 a 10, and I really enjoyed that game. And so it's like Hades late last year. I can't, even if it is like a genre that I'm just typically not in the mood for, I have to at least acknowledge if the game scored that high, I'm willing to give it a shot. It's just the matter of how much money am I willing to give it a shot for.
And that's where I'm kind of thinking, like, I'm willing to throw down now, and now it's just a question of when am I going to have time to play it. I'm saying that because next Friday Diablo 2 comes out. Diablo 2 is probably going to eat up a lot of my time because that's one of my favorite games of all time, and man, the quality of life is so good on it. So
where are you getting it? Like, what are you getting it on more than one system?
Okay, so that's been I pre-ordered it on Xbox, and I did that because I knew that doing pre-order on Xbox. I don't remember if others, but I knew they had a beta. The beta that if you were pre-order, you could do the beta. So I am considering now, though. I want it on Switch because I want the portability. Because if you get it, if this is not cross-play, but it is cross-progression. So if I get it on Switch, I can take it on the go. And if I get it on something else, then I can take, So I'm definitely going to get it on Switch, but I'm considering canceling my pre-order on Xbox and possibly either switching it to PlayStation, depending on the trophy list and how that goes, which I guess we won't know about for a while. I don't know where I want that other one, but I think I'm going to cancel the Xbox one, get it on Switch, and then find another. I was tempted, honestly, to get it on PC, a console, and Switch, but I don't think I can justify that. But that's only for the cross.
It's probably overkill.
Yeah, but that's for the cross play because I don't know if people are going to be on PC that I want to play with. The console experience I'm going to get out of Switch is probably not going to play as good as the Xbox. The Xbox played very well. If I have it on Xbox, I can play it in here with my Series, and with my One, and I can play it with my Series in the other room. So I think I may stick with Xbox on it, and so Xbox and Switch is what I was doing. The only reason I say PlayStation, I was tempted to get them trophies because I could platinum it, because I'm probably going to put that much time into the game. Why not get my platinum trophy?
The reason why I ask is selfishly, I want to know how it runs on Switch without buying it on Switch first.
Well, I'll be getting on Switch, don't worry.
I'm only going to be buying it on one place because I have a great affinity for Diablo 2 in terms of a nostalgia factor. It's one of the first games I ever played online. That and my old Jedi Knight days, not Jedi Knight 2. Jedi Knight.
Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight,
Dark Forces 2, baby. I was a lightsaber duelist in a gaming clan. So that and Diablo 2 had my boas on that I spent tons and tons of hours on. And so there is that factor. But then the same reason that I'm actually looking forward to with Eastward is that I bought that on Switch because that's what it's available on, and the fact that I get to play that in handheld, that's just nice. After playing through Zelda again, reignited what the Switch can do for me, where it's like my wife wants to watch a little TV, I log in, play a little Zon, go through that, and if there is, if it plays poorly though, then I'll probably end up just getting it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
But if there's a chance that it runs fine, like if we can get a stable 30 and, cruise and slay some Mephisto and talk to old Deckard Cain and do all that stuff at a nice 30 frames, then that's fine. The one that I do worry about, obviously, is what actually killed my computer as a kid was doing a necromancer with skeletons, because I love, like, even though it wasn't the optimal build for a necromancer, it was actually to use your golem, but it was just fun having as many skeletons as you possibly could.
Yeah. Oh no, that, like, I loved necro. I love playing necro, and I loved doing, because when I played Diablo 2 back in the day, okay, I played it. I played it when it released. It was one of my first games to play online as well. And first of all, there weren't as easy access to internet forums and everything, and like watching someone's video to talk to you about, these different builds. I played the Necro like that because it was fun. How many skeletons can I get? If I have this scepter, I have 3 plus 2 skeletons. Yes. Like, I would specifically get gear that would allow me to res more skeletons. That's what I'm. The amount of enemies on screen, I'm hoping it doesn't choke this game, because it is an older game at the framework to an extent. I'm hoping that it'll be okay. But yeah, I'm definitely going to grab it on Switch for the flexibility. But yeah, I think maybe Switch, PlayStation. I don't know. I think I'm going to cancel the Xbox, or I'm going to cancel the Xbox pre-order, because I know I'm getting it on Switch, and I don't know yet if I do want that on Xbox, because I could get it on Xbox and, like I said, play in here. I could play in the other room. I could play on my handheld. The cross progression's pretty cool, though. If you do grab it on 2, you basically download your save from the cloud and run from there. And they did reduce a lot of like modding and stuff. I mean, I'm not going to go into like all that. Like, there's people who are upset because a lot of the modding community and stuff like wants to dig into this game like they did into the OG game and use their mods and stuff. And Blizzard's like not really wanting that. But man, the quality of life updates, like the shared stash between your characters, is so cool. Like they were basically, they kind of stole that from a mod, but they basically announced it and were like, hey, we know you guys use mule characters. You create a character and mule stuff with your friends or whatever. We're like, we're just gonna let you share your stash. Why not? That kind of stuff I thought was cool. Yeah, I like that quality of life. So I'll let you know how it runs.
Everybody was yours a barbarian? What was yours?
For a mule? Yeah, barbarian. Yeah, I mean, I like playing barbarian anyways.
I don't know why, but like I feel like barbarian was like the natural mule.
He's a big guy, holds your stuff, Like, no, I liked playing barbarians as well. Like I will say I like the barbarian in Diablo 3 better than the barbarian in Diablo 2. I do like the barbarian in Diablo 2, but the leaps and stuff that Diablo 3 could do was really cool. I'll probably be playing quite a few different alts from Diablo. I think that's what got me into playing games and playing alt characters, where I like played I didn't have like a main. I had like 3 or 4 that I was playing all the time. I'll probably do that again. I'll probably play a paladin, necro, and I don't know what else. Sorceress is cool too.
I'm a Zon, man. I'm gonna do a Zon.
Nothing wrong with the Zon. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know how to segue into the next one, but nothing wrong with leaks, I guess. I mean, to an extent. I mean,
honestly, I don't think much of this thing after they went out and confirmed it.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw the article we're talking about is essentially someone dug into some metadata. I'm not going to go into like the full story, but yeah, as you do, he's like, hey, I can do this. What if I edit this code? He basically got access to anything that any of the GeForce devs for NVIDIA or anybody launched something with NVIDIA, it would show up here. However, some of these NVIDIA is now saying, actually, those are placeholders. I don't disagree that they could be placeholders. It does take time to put them in. For example, Mafia Definitive Edition. There's a Dolphin emulator. That's random. God of War. Yeah. So these are things that aren't on PC, but I think that some people took it a little too much, where they were like, oh well, these games are coming out. I think that if similar to in my Plex server or in like other things, you can type in a name and it finds in the file, it finds, oh well, you're talking about Mafia Definitive Edition, and it fills out everything for you. Because other people were like, oh, they added artwork. No, it's metadata. It goes and scours databases, and it put in the artwork for these. They could be placeholders. It could have been a developer. We don't know.
I mean, they came out and confirmed, like, hey, this list is real, but a lot of it is speculative.
Speculative, like, placeholder.
They're just guessing. Like, and that's where I'm like, all right. As soon as they said that, I'm like, cool.
Yeah. But that's the one they're like, they're just guessing. Some other people were saying, oh, but they uploaded pictures and they filled out all this information. No, you have an API that goes and grabs that info and it searches. It's like, oh, you mean this game? Okay, I'll fill this out for you. I think that some of the placeholders or speculation with what PlayStation is doing and putting games out on PC, it's not going to be unheard of for them to have a God of War launch on PC. Why not? That would sell. That would sell very well. They did it with Horizon, so.
But what's awesome is a couple days before that, we had a real event where we saw 40 minutes of video games.
We did.
I've bolded some stuff on the list. I don't know where you would like to start. Would you like to go with a LANCave favorite, Star Wars?
I mean, let's.
Do you have? Tell me,
Man.
with a Bill Murray cue, do we have a Star Wars clip?
I didn't have the Star. I didn't have the cue. I need to put that up there. Yeah. So
just need to put it on a button.
I need
it comes around.
It's too frequent. So Knights of the Old Republic remake. I'm all for it. I love that it's being remade for PlayStation 5. The original was an Xbox exclusive. Now you have a PlayStation exclusive. Okay, everyone's
People won't be mad.
Everyone's burnt. Everyone's heard about that. Okay, I am very excited because this is one of my favorite Star Wars games, and it did not age well. I wanted to grab a trailer, and I forgot to grab a trailer of the old one, but the old one did not age well.
No, it's awful.
So I went back and played it.
You have to like, if you want to play it, you need to play it on Xbox, like original. Playing it on PlayStation or playing it on PC is next to impossible.
I tried it. I think last year.
I remember.
Last year I couldn't get it to run on my PC. I got it to run on my Xbox, and it's not fun. It's still fun, but man, we have advanced so far. When it comes to the ease of gameplay and everything, it's really hard to go back, and it's harder for people who didn't play games back then, because we're getting older, and some people who are younger, teenagers and stuff, they may not want to go back and play that game, but the story is so good. I think it's worth it. That's what these are for. That's what these remakes are totally for. Very, very, very happy about it, and I haven't told the wife, like she's not played it. She doesn't know the twist. I don't know if she's I'm pretty sure she doesn't know anything about it. So I'm gonna purposely not tell her the twist and see how she if she figures it out.
Yeah, things that and obviously this is mainly rah because it's awesome.
Yeah.
I really wish that it was Blue Point doing this remake instead, though, and the reason being is the company that is doing it has never remade a game from the ground up. So it's being made by, I want to say it's Aspyr. It could be also Asper. It's ASPYR, depending. So Pyre is what I think of when I read that. They are a port studio. So they've ported actually 3 Star Wars games, including they ported KOTOR to mobile at one point, but they also ported Pod Racer, Jedi Academy, and I want to say another one that they ported to like Switch and PlayStation. I think they ported Civ 6 to multiple platforms. So it's not like Republic Commando is the game I'm thinking of. It's not that they are not capable or anything like that, but this is like, I want to say it's their first like ground up them making like the game. And even though they have worked with this game, that part is confidence inspiring, with the fact that they did port KOTOR to mobile, so at least they know what's in the game. They know, that, and so that's the only like, you could have gotten Blue Point for this because this is what Blue Point does,
and it's PlayStation. But, I mean, that's the studio to do this. Yeah, I think Blue Point's busy with Metal Gear. I think that's what's going on.
That's that could be fair, and we didn't see Blue Point at all. We didn't see the acquisition that got accidentally teased a couple months ago whenever they picked up Returnal's company. What's the name of the company?
I'm blanking on it too.
Not Drinkbox. Dang it.
Housemarque.
Housemarque. There we go. Not Drinkbox. Housemarque. And so I still expect that to come. The question is when. But that's literally my only qualm, because otherwise I don't care. Just bring the game. As long as it's like halfway functional, as long as it looks halfway decent and can run, I'll be happy, because it's this many years later. And what I'm hoping is Disney is taking note of this. And props to Disney, by the way, for taking their license away from EA exclusively. Like, not the battle. Again, I praised Battlefront 2's comeback. Battlefront 2 is a great game at this point. I highly recommended in terms of what they redid after launching it with the multiplayer. It's a ton of fun to play. But, we've seen Indiana Jones go over to Xbox's Machine Games. We are now seeing KOTOR remake go to this Aspyr studio. We have the Marvel games, which weren't a part of EA, by the way, but we have Insomniac, bro.
Well, that one. So, and I'll say, I was traveling when this happened, and I got a text from a Facebook message from Owen about Spider-Man. And I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of time before we got. I
didn't expect it to happen, though.
I didn't expect them to talk about it, because I expected this is a 2023 release, and that's why I didn't expect them to talk about it.
I didn't expect them to date it either.
I didn't expect them to talk about it. I expected to hear about this next year, because we're talking about a year and a half to 2 years out from this game. That's what made me go, I don't know how to feel about that. So everyone's talking about Venom over here in the shadows. The voiceover has got to be Craven on that.
Has to be. Can't be.
Absolutely I love the voice. The voice, by the way, Tony Todd. If you didn't see, Tony Todd doing the voice of Venom. So Candyman himself. Very happy about that. Very fitting voice for Venom.
Great villain choice between villain and Craven.
Yeah,
awesome choice.
Yeah,
for both of those, and I love the fact that they immediately put to bed whether Miles is going to be in the game or not by including him in the trailer. Here's what I'm looking forward to: a tag team Spider-Man fight where you take control of both Spider-Man. So like, it's gonna be kind of quick timey, which is always annoying, but like, imagine like a 2-part fight where you're switching back,
or like the phases
and forth between you're like switching back and forth between like Pete and Miles, like that will be dope. But here's where like I was already off the wall on Insomniac, because they're making 2 more games.
So, and then Wolverine, which
we got this trailer first,
and it's early. It's very early. No date on this. So I expect this to come out. I expect Spider-Man, as I don't know if we call this prediction, Spider-Man 2 to come out around spring 2023, and this in the around holiday 2023, because this is in development, meaning very early. They have a lot that they already have it could surprise me, though. It could surprise me, because
I have no idea anymore.
I don't know. And what was the other? You said they're working on. You said 2 other.
Well, no, I meant like they're working on 2 games, and who knows what else they're working on. I made a joke on my own personal page. I was like, dude, how many games are you guys working on? And the relative was like, no comment.
No comment.
Because I still wonder. I've been commenting. I was like, Insomniac has a history with VR. I'm wondering, do we get a PSVR 2 at any point? But just that aside, so here's what we've had. We had 2016 Ratchet.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2018 Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2020 Spider-Man Miles Morales. Admittedly shorter game. Oh, we did have DLC in late 2018 for Spider-Man. We had 3 consecutive DLCs for that. In 2021, we had Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. They are assumingly, based on what they already said about Spider-Man 2 coming out 2023. So that's 2 years off there. So we're skipping 2022 probably. Mm-hmm. And let's just say they do in like Spider-Man 2 2023, Wolverine 2024. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, dude, you like.
I want a Hulk game after that. I mean, this is.
I also just want to give them a hug. Like, their studio's called Insomniac because, like, I obviously know they're huge at this point in terms of like how many strong they have to be, because they have had many employees there talk about that they have a good quality of life, that they do not crunch a ton when it comes to working there, that they are not pressured to do that. So they obviously have like a really large team. But dude, that's 5 games in it in 2016. It's between that and 2024.
Yeah,
that's 1, 2. So it's 5 or 6 games in 8 years.
8 years, yeah.
That's insane. And not that this isn't hate from me on like Naughty Dog. This isn't hate from me on Santa Monica Studios. This isn't hate from me on Sucker Punch or anything like that. But none of Sony's other studios are doing this, bro. And I understand that like Spider-Man wasn't a 10, but it was a 9. It wasn't a Last of Us 10, but it was a 9 for me.
I mean, I have my bias. I'd say 9's probably accurate. I loved Spider-Man. I loved Miles. Loved getting those 2. I just got to point out here this little Easter egg. If you didn't notice, the license plate says HLK 181
from the first time we saw Wolverine.
So that's where my nerd instincts pop in, and I have to go. Actually, Hulk 180 was the first appearance of Wolverine. The last page of Hulk 180 is the first time you see him, and then Hulk 181 he's on the cover.
He's on the cover, yeah.
181's the one everyone talks about. 181's the one that's worth a lot of money. I think you can get 180 for I've seen between 3 and 600 or 3 and 700, something like that. 181 is the one people prize, so that's why it has the appearance.
Because he's on the cover.
Because he's on the cover. But whenever people like first appearance, I'm like, but yeah, he's on the cover. It is his thing. With whiskers, old school, yeah.
It's just clear to me that this studio's rocking and rolling. I obviously have some bias towards Insomniac in terms of family, but like I also just can't help but just be like, you guys are like, what's in the water that the rest of the studios? Is it just that like Sony's like, all right, Insomniac, we bought you. Here's a ton of money. Sorry. Oops. Here's a bunch of money. That doesn't happen very often on this show. We're a clean podcast. That was like 32 minutes.
Hit that time.
Here's a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
Go be you. And, they've been there for a long time. They've made crazy, weird games with Resistance and Sunset Overdrive. And, I know that this is like a licensed property and everything, but they put their own spin on it. They haven't cut corners and like tried to take a story. They've made their own original product. We saw at the end of Spider-Man 2018. I don't want to spoil it, but there could be a different villain than you expect in Spider-Man 2. There is that. And
I was going to say, it's been 4 years, 3.5, 4 years. Like, not that I want to spoil Spider-Man for people, but like I was going to bring that up.
I think it's insane. We're obviously going to talk about what else we saw, but like whenever you look at the main studios from the PlayStation Showcase, they are nowhere on this list. Insomniac is not nowhere. Santa Monica closed the showcase, and we could talk about that game next. So other than Santa Monica and Insomniac, we did not see Naughty Dog. We did not see Sucker Punch. We did not see Bend. We did not see Media Molecule. We did not see not Team Asobi. We did not see, but we've seen Insomniac how many times in the past 3 years?
It's first of all, and you hit a good point with Resistance and other games like that. They built this foundation of consistency, and now that they have that consistency, and PlayStation knows, they're pumping money into them. So when you hear oh, Insomniac's working on this, well, that doesn't mean that they're working on the same team is working on that one game and they switch to another game the next year. You've got multiple teams working all together to get this done. The consistent quality is so good. I bring up companies I love Blizzard back in the day. Blizzard back in the day had some great consistent quality, and now they're just milking World of Warcraft for all they can do it. I say that as someone who's going to be buying Diablo 2.
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
I'm just saying, I know it. I'm still spending money on it. Another game that company that I think had that kind of peak for a while and then faltered was Gearbox, and I'm hoping that Tiny Tina brings it back, because I was already kind of I was already interested in this game. This trailer,
it's kooky.
Ashley Birch doing Tina. The soundtrack was great with Baby Metal and everything. I think it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a cool mashup, especially seeing the kind of the isometric walking around in town, old school Final Fantasy bit to it. I don't know how that flows in compared to the first person battles. I don't know how much of a balance that's going to be, because I saw that in there and I was like, that's interesting. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna grab this one. But the other one I was gonna mention briefly is, it was rumored, and we got the Alan Wake remaster or remake. Was remaster or remake? Remaster.
It's a remake. Right? No, it's a remaster.
Okay, yeah. So I thought it was remaster. And this is another one that's it's not too old, but it is a little clunky if you play it now.
And it was exclusive to Xbox.
And it was exclusive to Xbox. So getting this is going to be really cool. I love. This is one that I would say it's not too scary. If people who don't like horror games,
so if it's on Control level, I'm planning on picking it up at some point.
Yeah, you're good. Then you're good. I think that the story in this. I'm not going to say it's quite it's as deep as Control. Control had some really cool aspects, but I really liked the narrative that they used in here. It is, there's some stuff that's a little dark, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad, and I liked there's a lot of nods in it to Stephen King, straight up nods to Stephen King, but also Twin Peaks and other things that I thought was kind of kooky. So I'm happy about that.
The other game that and before we move on, the other game, this I was happy to see this. It had gotten spoiled in terms of it releasing a few days before. Somebody mined some data, and then the creator of Alan Wake came out and was like, "Yep, we're coming out with it in October." And so, bummer in that regard, but cool to see it, show up at the PlayStation showcase and have a spotlight, because it is the first time it is going to be cross-platform. It's been on Xbox, I believe on PC as well, but it, now it's cross-platform. Comes out quick turnaround too. It's next month, so that's cool. I'm not going to pick it up right away because I'm on I want to buy games at a discount kick.
Sure.
And I'll be hopefully, unless I've beaten it by then, I'll hopefully still be playing Kenna at that point, which comes out next week. But I really enjoyed Control, as much as the story makes absolutely no sense in Control. Control's a fascinating game.
Yeah.
I think that this is setting up for, and I'm not new to saying this, I think that they're striking at the right time. Control got given away for free everywhere, became a very popular game, has had millions and millions of people play it. Now we're going to release Alan Wake Remastered. There was a rumor that they made a deal with Epic to put out 2 games.
Okay.
And people were like, well, that's Control 2. Apparently Control 2 is a deal that they made, I think. I always want to confuse it because it's not 343. It has a 5 in the name. Whoever published Control. 5-4. So they made a deal with Epic for 2 games, and so Alan Wake 2 is now the rumored game. So they're now letting 505. There we go. So not 343, but 505. So they have that deal for Control with 505 already. Now it's like, okay, Control was super popular. We gave it away even. Let's bring back Remastered. Let a whole new audience experience that. We had the Alan Wake DLC for Control, striking all at the right time. I bet you, Patrick, you're going to get yourself a nice Alan Wake sequel in a couple years.
That makes me happy. I really like the story. It's like I said, it's not too dark. It's gloomy. I'd say that. There's not too much.
What is it these days? It's 2021.
Yeah. Like there's not a lot of like gore. It's not, in my opinion, it's not terribly depressing. It's like, oh, that, like there's sadness and gloom, but it's not like, terrible. It's not jump scary kind of terribleness, but yeah, I'm all for it. And sorry, go ahead.
So with that, the game that we couldn't possibly get out of a PlayStation showcase without talking about a Square Enix game. Now it's not the Square Enix game I wanted to see, but that being said, I am glad with what we saw with Forspoken. Did you have any idea that this was a instance of character being sucked into a portal and is into a fantasy setting? Because I instantly became way more in to the game whenever we pulled a whole night in King Arthur, a kid in King Arthur's Court. You remember that game? Or movie rather, with the kid who was like popular for like 10 minutes. That's what it made me think of, but instead of that, it's a fantasy violence game where she gets some sweet Spider-Man movement, where she's swinging around with some kind of magic or who knows. I became way more in on this game. I was already in on it because I'm a Square Enix shill, but I became a lot more interested in the fact that this is a different take on the fantasy genre. We don't see this very often. You're normally in fantasy or you're not. Now we have modern time person. You're now in the fantasy thing. I'm wondering, are we going to be jumping back and forth at all? Who knows? I actually don't care if we are. Is she trying to get back to her present time? I don't care about any of it. Let's go. I'm in.
The hearing the commentary from her, which I heard some people were like, that's annoying. I'm like, okay,
that was awesome. What would you be saying?
What would you say if you were in this and it's just you? You're not having to pretend to be cool. You're the only person around. Just you can let loose. You can have fun. And seeing someone who, we got a little bit of her life beforehand, where you can see like, not having the best of times, and now being able to do all these things, and even if she's scared, she's got this power. I was already, like we said, we're already interested in it. I had no idea it was going to be this at all. I'm hopeful. The only thing that I can say negative about it, and this is just me nitpicking, the only negative thing, which was at the very beginning, when she's kind of like first brought in, and she's where are we? Right by here, I think. No, just a little bit more. Like the camera angles, I really feel like they didn't get this part was okay, but the next bits, it wasn't a very cinematic camera angle. It's like we're in a cutscene. And I think The Last of Us and other games have spoiled us to say like, oh, you're playing gameplay, and then you have, oh, you're in a cutscene, and the camera angles, this is okay to show, oh, look at the scope, and then she starts talking to the thing on her wrist, and I was just like, I'm bored. Like, it's this shot, and it just stays there. It's not as dynamic. It goes to another shot, and they're like 10 seconds apiece. And I felt like this wasn't as dynamic as it could have been. It wasn't as dramatic as it could have been. It's my only nitpick, because as soon as the gameplay is on, I don't have that problem. I don't have that problem the rest of this, because obviously you control your camera. But that was the only nitpick I had. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. I was pleasantly surprised by it. It does still look a little bit rough, but we do have several months in terms of it. And I don't know if you actually pull it up because I didn't really care about talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, and I don't know if you remember when we first saw Guardians of the Galaxy a couple months ago, we were both like, that looks rough. And then I have to say, during this showcase, the polish was definitely there for a game that comes out next month. The facial animation was way better.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm hoping is the same with Forspoken, that we are seeing a game that's still 6 months out. I'm excited about that. With Guardians 2, I was like, oh, okay, Peter looks a ton better. Peter looked like Bud before.
I agree, and we're getting that polish. We don't want crunch, but they have time until release to fix things, and that polish, that's what polish is for. Forspoken, you said 6 months. I didn't see the release date other than 2022.
It's spring 2022. So I'm just putting a nice round March on it. Please don't be in February. Like, we have
everything.
We have stuff going on already. Okay, can we get it? How about Forspoken? How about a nice April? Can we get April?
Yeah. April be good. Like,
dude, I don't know about you, man. Like the 12 for 12 is already starting to feel a little rough, just because I just bought Eastward. I'm going to be playing that in bed. Mm-hmm. I got Kenna coming in next week, and so I'm glad that I started on Hollow Knight early, just because now it's starting to go. It's about. I don't know if you ever watched Kevin Hart's stand up. It's about to go down.
Yep. It's like, I feel like from here until the end of the year, it's just going to be. It's like I got to pace myself because there's so much coming out. There's so many games.
Halo in December, got Pokemon in November.
So much. There's so much coming out, and thankfully, we're not going to get God of War until next year, because then I get a little bit of breathing room until that comes out. I really like this trailer. We finally got some God of War Ragnarok. There were people nitpicking, because it's the internet. There were people nitpicking certain things. I don't know if you want to go into that, but
you talking about the dude who was talking about reused animations?
Oh, yeah, that's one of them. Like,
I want to punch that guy. I was like, "Are you kidding? What did you expect getting in the boat?"
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, you got in the boat, okay." So that, like, I'm sorry,
and the one thing that you were talking about with Forspoken, in terms of God of War, like, does nobody remember how God of War plays? It literally never stops moving. And you're gonna complain that they reused the get in the boat animation?
Yeah, that one.
Who cares?
Yeah, that was such a small thing to nitpick. No, the other people were nitpicking Thor. Now that we've seen,
dope.
Like, I'm fine with it. People are like, "Oh, you," because they I didn't have it queued up.
Is it because they think of Hemsworth?
Because they think of Hemsworth, and they don't realize, like, the and part of it is artistic license in what they're doing with these characters and with the mythos. And they were saying, like, "Oh, he shouldn't be fat." It's like, look at it, like, the stories of Thor. He, like, ate so much, like that was one of his like, there's also the Norse and they didn't look at being, like, heavy like that as being a bad thing. You're strong.
Nobody did until 100 years ago, bro. That's I mean, men also, I mean, I'm bringing it back, not single-handedly, but men also used to wear pink.
Yep.
That was a thing, but until 100 years ago, like, people thought being skinny meant that you were poor.
Yeah. If you were overweight, you're like, "Oh, obviously he's got money." Obviously. And one of my coworkers, I'll call him out, jokingly call him out on this, because he said this joke, so I get to say it. He was talking about when he went to Philippines. He's a little bit taller than me, and he's a big guy. And he made a joke about, like, they all wanted to follow me because they knew I'd get. That I knew where the food was, or something like that, like, because he's a fat guy. I'm like, okay, there you go. This was the other thing that people were were upset about, because again, the internet.
Did you see the tangent that the dude went on as a response to that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. So bringing up
about all the lore that they've changed.
Yeah. So this is I think it was Loki's wife, I believe, and they were going off about her being a person of color, and he was like, we made this guy. This guy's supposed to be a dwarf, and we made him like a prospector. He's blue and he talks like a Texas prospector. He's going off about all the other things they did. No one said,
but they care because it's
Lady
Black, dude.
Because she's black. Yeah, and immediately I'm like, what does it matter? This is fictional characters. Fiction. I'm thinking of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. It's like these are made up characters. Sorry,
but I remember, and slightly off topic, but in the same realm. I remember getting into an argument when they cast The Little Mermaid.
Okay.
Got in an argument with the dude because he was like, "What color is the Little Mermaid?" And I'm like, "You mean the mythical creature that it doesn't exist? I don't know what color she is." They're like, what's in the Disney movie? And I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It's like, what color is the Little Mermaid?
Yeah, well, and I've heard people bring up things like, okay, well, what if they did like Sebastian the Little Mermaid? You know, he's from the Caribbean. Maybe they're doing something like that.
What if they make him a clownfish instead of a flounder?
It's made up stories, and these myths are made up stories. And at the same time, like, I agree. Like, I like the idea. Like, I love the God of War, the old school God of War ones. I don't know as much about Norse mythology as I do the Greek mythology and such. But that's what I like about these, because it's something I don't know as much about. But at the same time, it's a story. It's all made up. The Loki doesn't exist, his wife doesn't exist, Thor doesn't exist. These are made up characters. Our version of Thor, sorry.
Like, do you guys want to know the definition of a myth? A widely held but false belief or idea.
There you go. Well, and when I saw her, like, I didn't realize that's who she was. And immediately I was thinking, like, oh, maybe we're going to go to, like, you know, different lands or whatever. Maybe she's from a different land, like, and we'll then expand into further mythos, because I don't know, like, but it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. It didn't even, like, I don't know.
To move back into a more positive thing. By the way, the internet's stupid.
Yeah.
Before I move into the more positive thing, because I do have something interesting to say about God of War, but. The internet's stupid. Stop being stupid. Stop acting like you care. That's my whole bottom line. Stop acting like you care. You don't care. But what I do find interesting about what I do find interesting about God of War with Ragnarok, this is going to be the end of the North side. So the question, where do we go after this? Because God of War is obviously not going to end. Like, that's not what's going to happen. We have a now reestablished and reestablished quite well with 2017, 2018. When did God of War come out?
2017, I think. I'll double check.
With this new God of War, I know a lot of people thought it was going to be a trilogy, but they're doing a duo in this case. Where do we move next? You know, are we moving? Do we move to, like, Celtic? Do we move? The place that nobody is ever willing to go is Asia. You know, do we move into something there? That's it's going to be a long time before we have to really think about that, because we still have to get this game and play it in its awesomeness. The one criticism that I have is that you can tell that it's still being developed for PS4, and that made me sad. Unlike the Spider-Man 2 trailer, where we got no gameplay, obviously, but unlike those games where it's clearly like, there's just, it doesn't look old. It's still gonna look great. I know PS5 is still gonna look great, and I know they said it was captured on PS5, and I know it's not coming out to the end of next year, but it's still, I wasn't getting that PS5 polish feel, and hopefully sometime between this year and next year, the next time we see it, because I know that at some point we are going to get a full-on state of play. I'm thinking next June. or July, depending on it, because I'm expecting. My guess right now for this game is, because we thought they originally said this game was coming out this year. That was completely. I'm thinking September 2022 for God of War 2.
Yeah,
and they still didn't put a date on it. They put no expectations on it whatsoever, which I don't think I didn't notice, Sony. But they made that mistake already. Mm-hmm. They made the mistake of putting 2021 and then hitting it, but I think that they want to hit September 2022.
I think September's a safe one if they have to bump it, because they didn't put September in this trailer. If they have to bump it, it's not as much bad taste in our mouths or bad will, whatever you want to call it. I think that's fine. In regards to where they go next, I mean, you could go Celtic. I thought and honestly, because like I said, when I saw Loki's wife being a person of color, immediately I'm thinking, and knowing this is going to be the last one, I'm like, are we going to go into African myths? Like at that point, like I don't know if you watched American Gods,
go for like Egyptian or something.
Because they had some
get
like
some Anubis action.
Not even like Egyptian, like going further, like deeper into like Saharan Africa, and like some of the stuff they went into like in American Gods. I don't know if you watched that. It may not be.
I read the book.
Okay, so there's a little bit in the book on that, like, so that could be something that they touch on. That's something that the West hasn't.
One of the few times you'd be like, I don't know if you watched that. I read the book.
Sorry. I read the book, then the audio book on Audible, which is wonderful, and then watched the first season and a half. I'm way behind, but that's when I'm like, that would be interesting. We could go into. I'd love to go into the Asian ones as well, but like I don't know anything about those cultures. I know some Egyptian stuff, but I don't know if going further into Africa. It's something that like would be really cool for them to explore. There's part of it's a question of, because again, this is marketing. It's a business. Will it sell? And the China aspect of it, then they may be in a situation like Marvel was with Shang-Chi, where that movie's not released in China. The movie that is China-centric was not released in China, and I don't think Eternals doesn't have a slate for that either, because they're still trying to get it through the Chinese government. So imagine God of War having something. So God of War is not going to get through there.
Is somebody willing to do it? That's what I'm always waiting for. Is somebody willing to be like, you know what? We don't need the Chinese money.
Yeah.
I don't think that Sony is that company, especially since they get their chipset from China. Yeah. But
I'm hoping
it's still
Marvel,
always an interest.
Well, I'm hoping Marvel will with these two
Disney?
in a row. I'm just saying, I'm hoping with those two in a row, Shang-Chi and Eternals, and I can remember who it was from Disney that it was badly phrased, but he was referring to Shang-Chi as like an experiment, and he was referring to the fact that they weren't doing it on Disney Plus. I don't think it was him. I thought it was I think it's the Disney guy, not Kevin Feige.
I was calling
Feige. I think it's Feige. I think. So I think it was Iger that said that was talking about that being an experiment, and what he was referring to is the fact that they weren't doing it on Disney Plus. That's what he meant from business decision. He didn't mean, it's an Asian movie, we'll see if that does well. He meant, we're not going to put it on streaming. However,
is Iger the CEO?
Yeah. Okay, he's the CEO. I'm not a fan of him, and I
don't think most Disney people are.
Yeah, most
he's
Disney
the money guy, right?
Yep, he's the money guy. He's made a lot of decisions when it comes to like the parks, which is like, how do I make money?
What do you think of the genie?
The genie.
The ride skip thing, isn't it being called Genie now?
Oh, okay, so
line skip thing.
Yeah, so instead of doing fast passes, they're rolling out the Disney Genie, which I get what they're trying to do, but like, see, there's a free aspect to it where it's like the app. You can go on the app. I don't think it's released yet, but the free part of it is like you can go on the app and it's like, this is because you can do this right now in their app. But it'll show you where you are in the park in the current Disney app. In the new one, it'll be like, hey, you know what? You're really close to this, and the line is short. That's a recommended like ride for you to go to, which I think is cool for someone who's like doesn't know the parks as well, or they're just kind of playing it by ear. But the idea of paying for fast passes, it kind of sucks, but I'd rather there be ways that I can reserve. So if I can reserve it beforehand, I don't mind putting a little money towards it, but it's going to suck for families, man. For like a large family, having to, you think you have to pay per person,
per kid
that's
right?
going to be tough.
That's the part that's rough. Anyways, that was that thing where when I saw the Genie announcement, what's his name again?
Iger, yeah.
There's like some meme that something that fits his name into something about Igernomics or something like that.
Okay, yeah. Well, because like I get it, and again, from an economic perspective, one of the ways to
fiduciary responsibility,
but not that part of it. Like from a economics perspective, in regards to a business, if you have high demand, one of the ways you can increase the price. Or you can have some type of other barrier to entry that helps to slow it down or limits it. Similarly, they have like holiday parties that are going on in November and December. They do this every year. It's a separate ticketed event, and it's a limited capacity, separate ticketed event that's like between $160 and $220 per person for 4 hours. So some people aren't going to pay for that. Some people will, because it's a special
his
party.
Name is Patrick.
No. Okay, I was considering it. I'm not going to do it this year. We are going to have a little like anniversary trip. We're going to go stay at the parks. We were considering it, but we're like, we're already paying for the hotel. We're going to eat at a nice restaurant, and it was like with taxes, I think it was like $485 for the two of us for 4 hours. It's beautiful. There's like a really cool show, and there's limited capacity, meaning you get on the rides quicker. So you're paying more to get in quicker. I get it. I don't like it. For the average person, the average thing. Think about like you bringing your kid, because you know you want to do that. Maybe it's something you say, well, you know what? I'll do that for this ride, and that's it. Maybe that's what you do. There are other people.
It's going to be Star Wars.
Yeah, it's going to be Star Wars. Yeah.
I've been avoiding spoilers on how that ride goes for 2 years now. I will be fast passing Star Wars.
Yeah.
Anything else, I really don't care about, because
who knows
what the kid's gonna be at that point. But anyways, was there other call-outs from the showcase? By the way, great showcase in terms of 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Lots of games with gameplay, tight, not a lot of talking. They did a little after thing where if you stayed tuned, then they did some dev talks, which were interesting. That's where we learned about a little bit more about God of War. That's where we learned a little bit about a couple of other things. And so I liked that they kept it tight like that.
Yeah.
Call outs, Uncharted Remastered and 4 and Lost Legacy are coming to PS5 and PC. The thing that they didn't mention is how much is the upgrade for those of us who are existing owners.
I mean, I hate saying it, but like, if it's $10, if it's $10,
no, that's what I want it to be. Make it 10.
I'm fine with that. I don't want to pay a la carte.
This on the heels of their debacles with Horizon, and how they had originally said that Horizon was going to be a free PS5 upgrade, and then they were like, no, it's that you can't pay to upgrade it. You're going to have to buy either the ultra special digital edition, or you're going to have to buy the copy again. They rolled that back and then put a thing of any other cross-play games. It's going to be a $10 upgrade, so that means God of War is going to be a $10 upgrade. Fine. Yep. I'm okay with that, and so that makes me wonder how much you're going to charge me for these collections, because I bought Remastered day and date, I bought 4 day and date, I bought Lost Legacy day and date, so I've paid you guys full price for those games already. How much are you going to milk me for?
Yeah, it's probably going to be 10. Unfortunately, but I'm wondering if
it's going to be 10 each. Like, is it 10 for the remastered and 10 for 4?
I hope not, but there's a chance that they're going to do that, and they're going to say something about like, "Oh, we can't." Yes, you can. Like, they're going to say something about like, "Oh, there's system." Like, yes, you can.
But it is coming to PC though for you nerds. You'll be able to put Shrek and Thomas the Tank Engine into Uncharted at some point. You'll get that on. The only other one that really was just like a what. just happened moment was Kid A.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on? I was like, okay, great choice for a soundtrack. Get a little Radiohead on there. Anybody who doesn't know me, I very much love Radiohead.
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be Kid A Amnesia, a Radiohead like experience coming out in November.
Yeah.
What?
First of all, coming out in November.
How much shrooms do I have to take to like really?
I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, Radiohead does some really inventive and interesting things, like saying like how do we pair our music with like an experience, and like I'm that's why I'm really curious. I'm really curious like what this is going to be. I definitely want to support them. I'm going to wait for some reviews to say, okay, what am I getting into? But it's definitely piqued my interest.
It's pretty likely that I'm going to buy it.
Yeah. I figured it's so unique though that I'm like, I think I'm going to buy it because I want to be part of that experience. And part
how
of
often how often do you see it? How often is there like a musical thing that like I want to know? Is it a game that you play through? Is it a thing that like is it a walking adventure where you're just like kind of listening to these soundtracks whilst walking around some kind of crazy scene? Like I'm sure that there's I want to go into it literally. I don't want to know anything about it.
Yeah.
Like I might read a review just to be like yes or no type thing, but the chances are no matter what I'm just going to buy it as soon as it comes on pre-order, because again, Kid A is a fantastic album. Amnesiac is a fantastic album. Just some of the great songs Everything in Its Right Place, which is what was playing during this trailer, is just it's the first track on Kid A. Such a great song.
I recognize the song. I don't know if I've listened to the whole album. But
if you have you can just go on YouTube and listen to it. I definitely recommend going and listening to Kid A. Yeah. For sure. Listen to Amnesiac as well.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I was completely blown away. I was more like super happy. Like, did I even leave my first note? Like, what is this? No, I didn't. No. So I had a guess. I was like, what is this game? And I thought it was going to be like some kind of horror game that they just happened to pick everything for the song for it. And then it was like, no, this is a Kid A Amnesia. What?
Yeah.
And so I will be reporting back on this in a couple months because I'm interested.
Yeah, a definite surprise. I would say I'm interested. I'm very curious. I think it's even more yours. But I will say one other thing I wanted to mention though before we end though is have you seen the thumbs up and thumbs down on GTA on this trailer particularly?
Did they get ratioed
on YouTube? So on YouTube, because you can see thumbs up, thumbs down. Like last I checked, I'm gonna straight up bring it up because the ratio of downvotes on this is just insane. Even people who like Grand Theft Auto are like, I'm good. Like they either want to play this game or it's at 15%. So that's your like to dislike. You're that far down. You have, and for so 27,000 upvotes, 158,000 downvotes. Like, and it just keeps going.
What's their reasoning?
Most of the people are like, I don't care. We already played this game. Don't you have enough money? Like I think people are realizing like Rockstar, yes, Grand Theft Auto 5 is a great game. Yes, we know you're going to put it on PlayStation 5. We know. So but they're just milking it for all it's worth, as opposed to like actually like coming out with something,
Well, because you know what we want? We want a DLC, bro.
Yeah. They're expanding the map.
Which one's Ballad of Gay Tony on? Is that 4?
4, yeah.
Like 4 has some of the like what Robert just said. People want a new I understand that 6 isn't ready. You had a great thing in that's
Give me an expansion.
Rockstar and Naughty Dog, you guys take forever. But 4 had some of the great DLC of all time. 3 had some great DLC. Why are you guys at this point? I really think it's being lazy. Like I think that I get that the online is so popular and so money driven that we're talking about. I want to say that Grand Theft Auto is the highest selling game of all time.
It is. Here's what I think is happening with Rockstar. Rockstar's doing what Blizzard did back in the day.
They're second.
Second?
They're second
what?
behind. What do you think? What do you think they were? Tetris is third.
Oh, okay. Top game, and it's not GTA.
What does every child in the world play?
Oh, Minecraft.
Yeah. So Grand Theft Auto 5, 150 million. Minecraft over the 200 mark.
Here's what I think. But here's what I think is happening with Rockstar. Rockstar's doing what Blizzard did with World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft made them so much money, and it just kept making the money. And they were like, we just need to keep feeding the beast, and they didn't think about, should we do a World of Warcraft 2? No, we have people here. We need to feed the money, feed the beast. Now, you have people who will play. They're playing different versions of World of Warcraft, but all we're doing is rehashing and adding. I mean,
so wait, and here was the meeting 15 years later. Should we remake World of Warcraft? How about vanilla?
Yeah. Let's do Warcraft again. They don't have enough World of Warcraft. Let's do World of Warcraft. Like, I love World of Warcraft. I love Blizzard games. I love StarCraft. I think that caused a huge problem. It's a huge shift in the company. Rockstar came out with so many great games, like over and over, like year after year. It was like maybe every other year, every 3 years or so. Consistent games. They could have a DLC and give me more of a story. Give me like another chapter of these characters and stuff within the same world.
They're big enough to have a team that can just be doing that.
Why not? Why wouldn't you?
Again,
it's making
is
so
the
much
money not there? Even though it's been on sale a million times. Let's just say the first like 20 million of those were at $60.
And so, how many shark cards? How many shark cards and stuff are people buying? Because now we're not only is it second to top, but people are buying shark cards. They're buying currency. I think that's what's happened. It's become since
launch as of August 1st. You want to take a guess at what Grand Theft Auto has made on 5? Like what Rockstar has made? Like, and we're talking revenue, obviously, but still.
I'm terrible about this. I've learned that I've learned that I can.
I'll tell you to start with a B. Obviously.
Yeah. I was gonna say 4.
6.4. So there was a 4 in there.
Oh, there's a 4 in there, and I wasn't that off.
It's like Ghostbusters. You were like having the, I'm not gonna buzz the thing anymore. So $6.4 billion on one effing antiquated game.
And that's why they're like, let's do the PS5 version. Let's do this. Let's do that. Because they think if we keep doing this, we'll keep making money. The bottom drops out. It'll keep making money.
I guarantee
at some point it drops out. Yeah, of course. I'll probably buy the PS5 version because I do like the game.
Don't do it.
But that's the problem. It's like if I do that, the problem is the bottom is going to drop off. Is it going to drop out in 2 years? Is it going to drop out in 3, 5, a year and a half? It's 2021.
It's free if you already own it. That's good. It's a free upgrade.
So but think about this. Think about how quickly things change nowadays. Think something that's hot a month ago is old now. And I'm not saying that as like, oh, you're the old guy saying that. I'm like, no, like things were like popular for us for like a year and a half, and then it was like, oh no, that guy's not popular anymore.
I saw today Tales of Arise, which it has a 89 on OpenCritic. I really want to play it. By the way, I'm getting some FOMO on this JRPG. But Tales of Arise launched literally 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
$50 right now on Amazon. Already dropped $10, and I'm so close. I'm like, no, show me 40 for Black Friday. That's what I want. I decided as soon as I see a rise at $40, then I'm gonna buy it. But You never played Grand Theft Auto 5, Robert? It's such a great campaign. Such a great campaign.
Play it for the campaign.
Good. It's so good. Please go buy it used though. Don't give Rockstar anymore.
Also, very briefly before we end regarding the campaign, the fact that the 3 different main characters, I'm sure you heard about this. The developers said those are representational of like stereotypical players of Grand Theft Auto games. So like Trevor is your maniac. I'm just gonna blow things up. Michael, is it Michael? Michael's the older guy, right?
It's been so long, I don't remember their names.
So one is like that. So a guy who really, he said, "Come on, I own it multiple times." Never mind. Okay, for people who don't know, Trevor is crazy because that represents the crazy people who just do crazy things in Grand Theft Auto. Michael is the like old school crime, like mafia stuff, and then you have
Franklin.
Franklin's like the people who enjoy driving, like, and that's their aspect. So you have Franklin's really good at driving, and like they have these different like aspects of it. Like that was what kind of got them like, let's give them people what they want in different ways. And okay, cool. So Robert said he played it for like 10 hours. Okay,
he's got to bring his rep back. He's like,
okay. We weren't trying to.
I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, even and I'm not a big open world type person. Like I played the 95 hours of Red Dead Redemption 2, and I've beat Grand Theft Auto 5.
I love the old school mafia stuff though. See, like I like the old school mafia stuff. So like the Grand Theft Auto 3 was like great for me. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I love San Andreas for like a lot of the realism and like.
Is there China Wars? Did you play that on mobile?
I didn't.
That's on Vita, I think.
I got it on my Vita, so I need to play it, but I haven't played it yet. But anyways, we've talked a lot about video games today. I hope you enjoyed this.
Dude, let us know in the comments. So much positive video game vibes, dude. Fall is here, bro.
Let us know in the comments what you're looking forward to.
So happy.
Yeah, we're happy. Let us know in the comments what you're looking forward to out of those games. Is there something we didn't talk about that you wish we talked about? Any of that stuff? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next time. And you're muted. All right, we went a little over, but yeah,
can't believe I said shit. Damn.
Yeah, I was gonna say like usually it's me. No, I'll censor that one. That shouldn't be a problem. Stop Zencat.